So, what do you think of when you hear the word leader? Someone in charge? Someone at the top? Well, today we're going to explore a powerful and honestly kind of counterintuitive idea that completely flips that image on its head. It's called servant leadership. And it all really starts with this one simple question: who does a leader truly serve? You might think, well, the board or the shareholders, maybe even themselves. But servant leadership gives a totally different and, frankly, more powerful answer. And here it is, the whole concept in a nutshell. It's about two fundamentally different mindsets. The traditional leader, at the top of the pyramid, is basically asking, how can my people serve me? But the servant leader, they flip that pyramid upside down. Their question becomes, how can I serve my people? It's a total game changer. So let's get the official definition on the table. This term was actually coined way back in the 1970s by a guy named Robert K. Greenleaf. He saw it as a philosophy where the leader's number one goal isn't to command or control, but to serve their employees, their customers, the whole community. It's all about putting people first, sharing power, and helping them become the best they can be. Okay, that sounds great, right? But what does it actually mean in practice? Let's dig into the blueprint and look at the core principles that make this whole thing work. So it really rests on these 6 foundations. It all kicks off with that service-first mindset, a real, genuine desire to help other people. You pair that with empathy and listening, because let's be real, you can't serve people if you don't get what they need. Then you've got community building, making a place where people actually feel like they belong. From there, it's about empowerment and growth, giving people the trust and the tools to fly. And of course, this whole thing falls apart without ethical leadership and stewardship, which is just this deep commitment to leave things better than you found them. And here's what that looks like day to day. A servant leader has humility. They're all about shining the spotlight on the team, not themselves. They practice active listening. They're not just waiting for their turn to talk, they're actually trying to understand. And empowerment, it's not just about giving people tasks, it's about handing over real authority and trusting them. And the glue that holds it all together is selflessness, choosing to put your team's growth way ahead of your own ego. All right, enough theory. Let's see this in the real world. We're going to look at a few amazing leaders from totally different walks of life who prove just how powerful this approach really is. And we're starting with a giant of history, Mahatma Gandhi. He wasn't a CEO, he wasn't a president in the usual sense, but wow, was he a leader. I mean, just think about it. In the middle of India's fight for independence, he never tried to grab power for himself. Instead, he lived simply, he walked with everyday people, and he championed the cause of the most marginalized. His authority didn't come from a title on a door. It came from his service to something so much bigger than himself. Next up, we have Mother Teresa, a name that's basically become a synonym for selfless service. Her leadership wasn't happening in boardrooms, it was happening on the streets. I mean, her entire life was dedicated to caring for the sick, the poor, the people everyone else had forgotten. She built the missionaries of charity into this global force for good, all based on one thing: serving others. She led by putting compassion first and giving dignity back to people who had lost their voice. Okay, but I hear you. Does this soft stuff really work in the cutthroat world of business? Well, let me introduce you to Herb Kelleher, the legendary founder of Southwest Airlines. Kelleher created a ridiculously successful company with a crazy simple idea: put your employees first. Period. He treated them like family. He actually listened to them. He worked right alongside them. His mantra was a formula: happy employees lead to happy customers, which leads to a profitable company. And you know what? It worked brilliantly. And here's another great example from the corporate world: Narayana Murthy, one of the co-founders of the tech giant Infosys. His approach was all about fairness and ethics from day one. Murthy basically baked servant leadership right into the company's DNA. He was laser-focused on sharing the wealth with his employees through stock options and built a culture that was all about empowerment and being transparent. For him, it wasn't just about chasing profit. It was about strong values and investing in your people. That was the real secret to success. Now, for a modern political example, let's talk about Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. She really showed the world what servant leadership looks like in a crisis. After the horrific Christchurch shootings, her first instinct wasn't to project power or strength. It was to show deep human empathy. She was there, comforting the victims' families, focusing on healing the nation. Time and again, through every crisis, her priority was clearly the well-being of her people. She led with her heart, with compassion, and a true sense of service. So, we've seen all these amazing examples. What's the big takeaway here? What's the real power behind putting people first? At the end of the day, it all comes back to this one idea: flipping the script. It's about that fundamental shift from asking a me question to asking a them question. You stop seeing your team as a tool for your success, and you start seeing yourself as a tool for their success. And when you make that shift, the results are incredible. When people feel seen and supported and valued, you get so much more than just hard work. You get loyalty, you get trust, you get innovation. This isn't just the nice way to lead, it's the smart way to build real, lasting success. And that leaves us with one last question to think about, whether you're leading a country, a company, a family, or just yourself. The real question is, who are you serving?